At 6:42 p.m., my phone lights up on the kitchen counter next to a sweating glass of calamansi water. I'm still in my work scrubs, wrinkled navy, lint stuck at the pocket seam, when the first ping hits, then the second, then the waterfall. Aunts I haven't seen in years, blockmates from college, a cousin who only messages when she needs a small favor, their code for a transfer. Mom tagged you in a post. The apartment is all hum and blue light. My rice cooker clicks in to keep warm like a tiny heartbeat. I wipe my hands on a dish towel and tap the notification. Mom's profile photo, hair sprayed into place, pearls catching light, fills the top of my screen. Below it, the post. A bright, proud caption in her careful English. So proud of my daughter. She's earning 135,000 pesos per month now. Basic plus allowance plus bonuses. Everyone please know she can help more to our relatives who need support. PM me your concerns. God bless. Attached, a photo of my payslip. My name, company logo, net pay. A few blurry numbers but still legible. She took it in our dining room, I realize. Those are our old brown tiles in the background. And she didn't even crop out her thumb. My vision tunnels until the white letters on blue start to swim. Comments keep blooming below the post like mold in a humid kitchen. Tita Lynn. Praise God. Ate, I will message you about Kuya's dialysis. Neighbor Liza. Wow naman. Pa-share konti? School opening na. Cousin Jaja. Konting tulong for baby Angela's formula PLS? Aunt M. Good daughter. You're blessed to be a blessing. The room smells like garlic from the fried rice I meant to eat. I don't taste anything. Somewhere inside my body, an old muscle memory tightens. The feeling of being 9 years old and counting coins at the Sari Sari store while Mom explains to a neighbor that my honor roll certificate is just paper. My phone rings. Ma. She answers brightly, as if she's in the middle of hosting a party. Anak, did you see? You're trending! I swallow air that feels like glass. Take it down. What? Why? We should be transparent. We're family-oriented. This is a blessing. People should know. That I am a bank? My voice is surprisingly calm. The light on my stove flares with a soft click. Delete it. She sighs, the kind of long-performance sigh that fills a room. I don't understand why you are ashamed. You should be proud. Everyone will be encouraged to ask for help properly. Organized, not like before. Random. I look at the photo again and see the line items only I ever see. Salary loan deduction, PhilHealth, SSS, PAG-E by G, the company's wellness fund that is basically a forced savings I can't touch until December. And the bottom line I always feel, net. Delete it, Ma. She changes tactics. Your Tito already called. He said his daughter can't register without down payment. She cried. You know, the one who... Delete. It. Silence. Then, softly, the weapon she uses when the louder ones fail. You changed. Leia. I stare at the payslip photo, at my own name boxed in blue. I'm not changed. I'm tired of being visible only as a number. It's just Facebook, she says, like the sea is just water. I hang up before my temper frays. I've seen where that road goes. I open my note-taking app instead. New checklist. Screenshot Mom's post. Screenshot comments. Screenshot timestamps. Call HR tomorrow. Ask about payslip policy. Breathe. My apartment is small, but mine. A second-hand couch from a friend who moved to Dubai. A cheap laminates bookshelf bowing under the weight of nursing manuals and Tupperware. A balcony with a view of laundry lines and neighbor's basil. I built this life in thin layers. Graveyard shifts, bus rides, one 500 peso bill at a time. Every centimeter of it paid for with a future version of me. I open the cupboard and pull down my accordion folder. The yellow one, the one that expands like a stubborn truth. Each pocket is labeled in a handwriting that I only recently decided to love: rent, electricity, water, internet, SSS salary loan, student balance, mama and papa monthly, Lola's meds, Kuya's kids, buffer. Every stack of paper a receipt that says I exist beyond my net pay. The messages keep pouring. Mark, office. Hey Leah, your mom just, she posted something? Army, college. Girl, your mom is wild. Are you okay? Unknown number. Gud PM. I am friend of your mother. Our barangay needs sponsor for tarp and sound system. I lay the folder on the table and inhale. The air tastes like cooked rice and something electric. I make a second checklist. Rent, 18,500 pesos. Electric, 3,400 pesos. Hot month. Water, 450 pesos. Internet, 1,699 pesos. Phone, 799 pesos. SSS salary loan, 3,200 pesos. Student balance, private review center loan I took for BRD exam, 2,500 pesos. Mama and papa monthly, 8,000 pesos. Lola's meds, 2,400 pesos. Metformin, losartan, ASA. Kuya's kids, 1,500 pesos. Load plus school supplies. Groceries/food, 7,000 pesos. Transport, 1,800 pesos. Healthcare/insurance, 1,200 pesos. Buffer/MISC, 2,000 pesos. Tithes, giving, 1,000 pesos. Total, 55,248 pesos before the month even blinks. Underneath, I write in capital letters, my payslip is not a community budget. My screen lights again. Mom has added a sentence to her caption. Don't be shy to ask help. Leah is generous. With a heart and a folded hands emoji. The comments cluck approval. I want to drive across the city and shake the phone from her hand. I do the adult thing instead. I open Facebook, click report under her post. Privacy violation. Exposes personal information. And then I put my rice on a plate and eat every bite, because tomorrow I will need all the steadiness I can stack inside my body. When the plate is clean, I roll my chair to the table. I pull out my laptop. I create a spreadsheet named Bills, July, and copy my list into columns that add themselves into cents. Then I scan what I need to scan. I redact account numbers. I draw yellow boxes around due dates. I take screenshots and paste them into a single long image, a collage of dull rectangles and bold totals. My thumb hovers over post for a long minute, then my breath evens because I can hear my mentor's voice. Ate Therese, who taught me that calm is a weapon. You don't shout. You show. I click upload. Caption. Since my salary is now public, here is what the inside of a month looks like for me. I'm not ashamed of working hard. I am not a bank. If you need help, I wish you abundance. If you are family, please coordinate with Mama for the amount I already send monthly. Boundaries are not selfish. They're math. Images. The collage. The yellow accordion folder. A sticky note that says, in my own hand, help is a gift, not a bill you send me. I tag no one. I block no one. I hit post and put the phone face down. And in the quiet afterward, when my heart is a small animal finding its nest, I hear the first ping that doesn't feel like a knife. Army. Standing ovation. Mark. That spreadsheet is art. 8 Therese. Proud of you. And then, 10 minutes later, a text from my mother. Ma, please delete your post. People will think we are bad parents. I write back. Take down yours. And we talk tomorrow. Neutral place. My schedule. 11 a.m. Corner Brew, across from St. Luke's. I don't wait for her reply. I wash my plate. I tuck the accordion folder back into the cabinet where it keeps watch like a yellow moon. I set my alarm for 6 a.m. to make my shift. On my nightstand, I place a pen, a small notebook, and one decision that feels like a door clicking shut, and another opening somewhere I can't see yet. I sleep like someone who finally put her name back inside her body. On Saturdays when I was 8, Mom would drop a handful of coins onto the table and ask me to roll them in paper sleeves for the bank. 5-peso towers, 1-peso stacks, a neat fit. "You are good with numbers," she'd say, almost surprised, as if numbers had chosen me behind her back. That same year, at my school recognition day, they pronounced my name correctly on the first try, and for a second, I felt taller than the stage. After, Mom squeezed my shoulder, eyes on the program, and said, "Hurry. Your father's batchmates will arrive for his birthday." That night I served spaghetti while grown men sang "My Way" off-key and clapped for a neon cake with his name in looping script. My certificate curled inside my bag like a leaf. At 12, I learned to be quiet when adults talked about money. "We are struggling," they'd say, while handing my sister a new phone because the old one lagged. At 15, I discovered the remittance center's linoleum smell when I used my scholarship stipend to help Mom cover the electric bill. At 19, I learned the difference between an investment and a promise kept when I sent half my review allowance to my brother's enrollment fee and studied at night with a daylight's headache. There were always numbers. Rent due on the 3rd. A cousin's funeral. Contributions listed in a notebook like a scoreboard of grief. Gas money. A prayer intention with a price tag. "You're so good," relatives would coo, their code for pliable. Generous, their code for easy. At my first job, a night shift in a clinic that always smelled faintly of alcohol swabs and coffee, my supervisor taught me to document everything. "If you didn't chart it, you didn't do it," she'd warn. I learned to timestamp my actions. 2:11, meds given. 0304, patient refused. 4:30, family asked for more pillows, request forwarded, boundary held. I kept the same discipline for home. Receipts in Ziplocs, screenshots in folders labeled by year and quarter. Not because I planned to weaponize them, but because the only argument I ever seemed to win was the one with math. And because the day you decide to set boundaries, everyone asks for proof that you deserve to. The first time I said no to Mom, it was about a raffle basket for a church fundraiser. A simple 2,000 peso request when my wallet had exactly 515 pesos to last until payday. She looked at me like I'd slapped the infant Jesus statue. "We raised you to share." "You raised me to calculate," I wanted to say, but I swallowed it. Instead, I sent 500 pesos and ate cup noodles for dinner with slices of hot dog to pretend it was a proper meal. Then the small no's started to pile, steady as pennies. "No, I can't cover Tito's bar bill after the fiesta." "No, I won't be guarantor for Kuya's motorcycle loan." "No, I won't transfer just for now to Tita's tindahan stock that already looked like an exit wound." Mom would go quiet for hours and then emerge with soft words like silk ropes. "It's not for me," she'd say. "It's for family." I tried to reason, to draft budgets for them, to suggest savings envelopes with cute stickers. Mom would smile with her mouth and slice my suggestions with her eyes. "You're too strict," she'd say, their code for responsible. I learned the choreography. They ask, I tighten, I give half, I self-correct in my own life. I bought secondhand everything. I took a 20-minute walk instead of 2 jeepney rides. I delayed the dream of a sofa that didn't smell like sea breeze and strangers. I justified it with equations. If I give now, I can breathe later. Later became a horizon that moved away as I walked toward it. The day I signed the lease on this tiny apartment, the day I placed my rice cooker like a crown on a chipped counter, I cried alone. Not big, dramatic sobs. Smaller, thinner tears that dried quickly and left salt on my lips. I did this. I wrote on a sticky note and stuck it inside my cupboard where I'd see it when the world tried to make me forget. There were gifts in all of it. I learned to feed 10 people with one grocery run. I learned the cheapest night markets and the vendor who sold bananas by the kilo that always lasted 3 days. I learned to ask, what exactly do you need it for? And listen for the story under the story. I learned that some stories were bottomless. You're so lucky, my coworker said once, scrolling through her phone. Your parents raised you so generous. Mine never asked for anything. Luck. That night, I dug into a box of old notebooks and found the one where I'd tracked requests for a year in neat pencil lines. January 3rd, Mama. Water bill. Paid 800 pesos. January 14th. Cousin. Uniform. Paid 1,000 pesos. January 21st. Tita. Birthday contribution. Paid 500 pesos. February 4th. Parish. Raffle book. Paid 500 pesos. February 12th. Kuya. Loan payment short. Paid 1,000 pesos. February 13th. Mama. Groceries. Paid 1,200 pesos. February 28th. Lola. Meds. Paid 1,600 pesos. March 8th. Mama. Roof repair. Paid 3,000 pesos. March 9th. Me. Orthopedic consult. Postponed. I stared at that last line until it blurred. I had postponed my own doctor visit because the roof leaked near the kitchen and everything would be fine. It wasn't. Water found a path down the wall and made a map of itself. I never showed that notebook to anyone. I kept it as a private witness. Some nights it felt like a confession. Some mornings it felt like a promise. Mom's face during those years is its own ledger in my memory. Proud when she could say, "My daughter in healthcare." Tight when neighbors praised me too loudly, and the sound didn't include her. Sharp when I asked about her own plans. Soft when I kissed her cheek before climbing into a bus with a packed lunch she wrapped for me like a blessing. What would make you feel safe? My mentor asked me once, over fishball sticks on a street corner after a long shift. A number, I said without thinking. She laughed, then stopped when she saw I was serious. Okay, she said. What's the number? I wrote it on a tissue. A monthly figure I could give without bleeding. We looked at it together. It felt both possible and terrifying. You can offer this, she said, and keep your spine. I told Mom the next week. 8,000 monthly, I said, my voice wobbling but my spine straight. To the house. Non-negotiable. Anything else I can help if I can, but I can say no without guilt. She smiled like she'd been given a new dish at a restaurant she didn't order. We'll see, she said, their code for not binding. For a while it worked. Then, for a while ran out. And now we're here, with my payslip pinned like a butterfly to her wall. And me, finally ready to hold up my own wings and say, look closer. I'm not your specimen. I'm a person. At 10:52 a.m., I grab the corner table at Corner Brew. It's the kind of cafe that tries to be more than caffeine. White walls, plants with Latin names on chalkboard labels, a shelf of books nobody touches beyond the bookstagrammers. The AC breathes cold on my forearms. My accordion folder sits at my right, like a small animal with claws. I order a black coffee I know I'll barely sip. I open my notebook to a page I prepared last night, the way you pack a go bag before a storm you can smell but cannot see. Agenda. Ask Mom to remove post. Ask Mom to post a correction. Set boundaries. No posting my info. No asking for more than monthly contribution. Emergency protocol. Present numbers, current obligations plus what I've already given. Offer alternative. Family emergency fund with clear rules. Rehearse exit line. Leave if mocked. gaslighted, or disrespected. At 11:02 a.m., I see them through the glass. Mom, in a cream blouse she reserves for important errands. Dad, in a polo with the logo of a construction supplier he likes to name drop. And Tita Lynn, because why not make everything a small audience? The bell on the door rings like a stage cue. Mom leans in to hug me. I keep my arms at my side so she can choose dignity or awkwardness. She pats my shoulder. Awkward wins. We didn't expect an entourage, I say, nodding at Tita. Tita is with me in everything, Mom answers, which is true and exhausting. We sit. Dad claps his hands once, the way he starts story time at fiestas. Okay, he says too brightly. Let's not dramatize. Facebook is public, I cut in. Calm is a weapon. And permanent. He frowns, as if we're debating the shape of a spoon. Mom twists her wedding ring. Tita arranges her bag so the brand faces outward. First, I say, placing my finger on item number 1, delete the post. Mom lifts her chin. I do not like how you... Delete it. Dad inhales to a lecture posture. Young people think privacy is everything now. When we were... Delete it, I say again, because repetition is the oldest tool. It has my name and salary. It invites strangers into my wallet. It invites help into our circle, Tita says, voice mild poison. From my circle, I say, keeping my tone flat. From my rent, my loans, my life. Mom glances at my folder. What's that? Receipts, I say, and watch the word land. I pull out the first sheet, a printout of her post, comments included, time-stamped 6:42 p.m. I slide it into the center like a dealer. Leia, Dad warns, but his voice softens when he sees his own name circled in red on a comment he added this morning. Message my wife for collections. Collections. The word wears a mustache and pretends to be a charity. The next sheet, a one-page summary of my monthly expenses, neat columns, totals bolded. Then the subpages, rent contract, electric bill, water bill, internet plan, loan repayment schedule, medicine receipts. Then the transfer screenshots. Mama and Papa, 8,000 pesos like clockwork for 13 months. Lola meds, 2 pharmacies, same totals. Kuya kids, 2 SIM numbers, 3 book receipts, 1 PTA list with my name under sponsor. Mom stares as if numbers can be made polite by looking away from them. Dad's mouth snaps shut like a tape measure. Tita glances at the total and lets out a tiny "oh." She schools her face quickly, but I saw it. This is unnecessary, Dad says. We are family. This, I say, tapping the stack, is why boundaries exist. Because family forgets the cost of a person's day when their day is a series of conveniences for you. Mom's eyes flash. So you will humiliate us online? You posted your bills like you are begging. I posted my bills because you posted my worth like a flyer, I say. Because you reduced my life to gross pay and promised it to anyone who needed it. She flinches at gross. She has always preferred net. It sounds closer to nice. You're ungrateful, Tita says softly. I ignore her and pull out the sheet labeled proposal in all caps because Dad respects that word. He leans forward, reflex triggered. Here, I say, and slide it toward them. My monthly contribution remains 8,000 pesos. In addition, I will seed a family emergency fund with 10,000 pesos today. I will add 2,000 pesos every month for 6 months. It can be used for true emergencies, medical with prescriptions, tuition deadlines with official notices, funeral expenses with death certificates. 3 signatures. Yours, Dad's, and mine. any withdrawal should be documented. No reimbursements for non-emergencies. No borrowing against future months. If money remains after 6 months and we have no emergencies, we'll discuss if it becomes a rotating fund or a savings account with both your names. Dad does the math out loud. Seating. 6 months. Tita scoffs. So complicated. Not complicated, I correct. Clear. It's no more giving than before, Mom says, chin lifting. You can do more. Now that you earn more. I look at her. I think of 8-year-old me rolling coins, 19-year-old me in a shaky Jeep writing postponed next to a doctor visit. Present me with calluses on the soft part of my heart. I breathe and keep my voice even. I can, but I won't. Silence lands like a bird I've been waiting to see. It hops around the table, pecks at our cups, looks me in the eye. Dad reaches for a trump card he believes he still owns. People will talk. They already did, I say, tapping the printout of Mom's post. You gave them my payslip. I gave them context. Mom's mouth trembles. They are calling me controlling. I am sorry they misnamed you. I say gently. The word is careless. Her eyes flash. You disrespect me. I asked for respect. I point to item 2 on my agenda. You will post a correction. Her eyes narrow. What correction? I slide a ready-made paragraph across the table. The letters are big enough for my father to read without his glasses. He hates that I know that detail. Correction and apology. Yesterday I posted my daughter's payslip without her consent. I realized this was wrong and a violation of her privacy. My daughter supports our household with a fixed monthly contribution. Please coordinate with me only for family matters within that amount. For emergencies, we will use an emergency fund with clear rules. Kindly refrain from sending requests directly to my daughter. Thank you for understanding and respecting boundaries. I wait. The Cafe Arduino soundtrack clicks to a song with a clean beat. Behind the counter, a barista wipes a mug in slow circles. The plant by the door trembles in the AC. Dad breaks first. Fine, he says, the word dragged through gravel. We will delete. And post the correction, I say. He grimaces. We will think about... Post it, I repeat. Mom exhales so slowly the air seems to bend. You like to see us humbled, she says. I like to see us honest, I say, and I mean it. I like to be able to go to work without a stranger messaging me about tarpaulins. What if someone dies? Tita snaps, as if death is a word that can bully all other words into silence. Then we use the emergency fund, I answer. And if it's bigger than that, I will help if I can. I have never let a funeral pass without help, but I won't be guilted into contributing to birthdays, bingo nights, yacht rents disguised as rest and posted with hashtags. Dad blinks. What is yacht? Exactly, I say. Mom's lower lip trembles in a way that signals genuine hurt, not performance. I only wanted to be proud, she whispers. When I was young, we did not have anything to be proud of. Be proud of me without spending me, I say. The line was born last night when I couldn't sleep. It lands now like a key in a lock. We sit in the gentle hum of the cafe and let the sentence open a door none of us knew we could walk through. I push the family emergency fund agreement across the table, 3 copies. Dad reads the words carefully, a habit he got from losing once in a card game to a friend who hid the rules inside a joke. He points at one line. No back pay for old requests? Correct, I say. We start clean. He nods slowly. And you will cede today? I slide an envelope across the table. It looks fat but is mostly air around neat bills and a deposit slip to a new joint account at the branch near their house. 10,000, Already in. First withdrawal requires a medical bill, a school official notice, or funeral proof. You can choose which emergency among requests. Not me. That is your dignity. Mom traces the edge of the envelope as if it might move. And if there is shame? There is more shame on Facebook, I say gently, and she winces, then nods. I put one more sheet on the table. Boundaries. No posting my personal financial information. No tagging me on sponsor calls. No contacting my colleagues or messaging my boss. Requests come through you two only, and only for emergencies. Monthly contribution remains fixed. I can say no, without explanations, without being called changed. Dad signs first. He appreciates rules even when he hates them. Tita leans back, clearly disappointed the show is ending without a fight. Mom looks at me over the top of the paper like I am a new person in her old house. I will delete, she says finally. I will post your... She glances down, finds a word she can carry. Correction. Thank you, I say, and mean it. She hesitates. But your post... Stays, I reply and hold her gaze. It's not to shame you. It's to protect me, to encourage women who are tired and afraid they will be called selfish if they choose air. Tita snorts. Influencer. I look at her and feel a strange softness bloom where anger usually burns. No, Tita. Just a person with bills. Dad stands like the meeting is a boardroom, and we have reached a motion. We will go, he says. Mom hugs me this time, and I let her. She smells like baby powder and the inside of church umbrellas. When she pulls back, her hand lingers on my forearm, thumb rubbing a small circle near a vein. You eat, she says, defaulting to love language 101. You look thin. I eat, I say, and I will visit Sunday. Lunch only. No financial talk. She nods, her eyes bright. Pansit, she says, and then they're out the glass door and the bell rings and I am alone with my coffee gone cold. I return the papers to the accordion folder in their exact order. I write in my notebook, done. Be proud of me without spending me. I buy a slice of banana bread to treat myself and lose my appetite halfway through because my phone buzzes. Mom's correction post appears on my feed. She reuses the script, mostly. She adds one line at the end in her own words. We will do better. The comments come, some supportive, some nosy, some quietly cruel and wrapped in emojis. I keep my promise and finish my banana bread, dry as a record. On the way out, I pass the donation jar at the counter and drop in a coin. A habit as old as my first Scout badge and as new as my emergency fund. The coin lands with a small, honest sound. Outside, the city sun bleaches the sidewalk into something I have to squint to see. I walk back to work with my spine intact, and my name where it belongs. On my tongue, on my lease, on the label of a yellow accordion folder that doesn't feel like a burden anymore. It feels like a plan. At 5:13 p.m., exactly a year after the Facebook earthquake, my phone buzzes with a calendar reminder I forgot I set. Emergency Fund. 1 year review. I smile because review used to mean struggling for licensure, and now it means looking at something I made and deciding if it still fits. I sit at my small table, the same cheap laminate, a different kind of weight on it, a vase with 2 sunflowers I bought myself, my laptop, a glass of water with slices of cucumber because I read somewhere it meant you paid attention to your own well-being. The yellow accordion folder is thicker, not with debt, but with done stamps and paid receipts that smell like ink and an office clerk's perfume. I open the joint account app. Family Emergency Fund, Leah plus parents. Starting balance, 10,000 pesos. Monthly add, 2,000 pesos for 6 months. Withdrawals, August 12th, 4,300 pesos. Lola's ER visit copay. JPEGs attached. November 3rd, 5,500 pesos. Kuya's son enrollment fee shortfall. Checkmark. Receipt. February 22nd, 3,250 pesos. Mama tooth extraction. Dental invoice. Remaining, 9,950 pesos. We never used it for a sound system or a party. Once, Mom called about a gift for Father's Day, a new barong for Dad, and paused mid-sentence. That is not emergency, she finished herself and laughed. It was a small, shining laugh, like the first drop of rain in a dry month. We added protocol lines as we went. If emergency exceeds fund, we announce it to the family group chat with documents and no tagging Leah. If Leah helps extra, it is gift with a ribbon emoji, not obligation with a chain emoji. No shame posts, not even humble brags. The family group chat changed tone like a station tuning to a better frequency. Fewer palimos, more reminders. Photos of Lola at checkup, smiling behind her mask, captioned paid. A nephew's report card with his science grades circled, to Leia, thank you, in 8-year-old caps. A Tita's plant blooming. Lighter emojis. On the first Sunday after the cafe meeting last year, I sat at my parents' table and ate pancit with calamansi and fried lumpia wrappers that crackled under my teeth. They kept the talk to neighbors and weather. The manila envelope by the TV was labeled Emergency Fund in Mom's pen. We didn't reach for it. That felt like a sacrament. We found new muscles. Mom messaging me, can I vent? Nothing to ask, just listen and me saying yes. Dad sending me a photo of a water filter he installed himself to make the kitchen tap-safe. Small independence flexes. Nights when Mom replied with a heart to my, I am tired. No advice attached, which in our language was advanced. There were misses. In October, a cousin posted a cryptic status about some people withholding love, and my aunt reshared with a gif of a crying baby. I didn't engage. Mom didn't either. 2 days later, a screenshot of US visa fees appeared in the group chat with the caption, No, not emergency. It shut down the drama like a hand on a light switch. My own life ripened in the spaces their needs no longer swallowed. I bought the sofa that didn't smell like anyone else. I enrolled in a weekend class on cardiorespiratory interventions and loved the way learning made my chest feel open again. I hosted friends for tinola and wine in mismatched glasses and didn't feel guilty for buying a second set of forks. I learned to sit on my balcony and watch other people's laundry sway and not take their movement as a command. I also learned I am allowed to help in ways that taste like generosity and not like fear. I started a small scholarship for 2 incoming nursing students at my old school, with criteria I wrote like a love letter to my earlier self. Financial need, grit, refusal to be invisible. The first time I met them on a video call, I cried after, not because I could give, but because I could choose when and how. At work, I became the person juniors came to with problems that didn't have single answers. Boundaries, I told them. Chart them like you chart meds. I printed a tiny sign for our break room. Help is a gift, not a bill you send someone. Someone added underneath in a different pen. You can also be the someone. Someone else added a heart. I didn't erase either. On nights I had energy, I wrote. Not statuses, not call-outs. Small essays about the math of care. People shared them, not like my mother's original post, gawking, but like bread. One of those nights, a DM arrived from someone with a last name I knew too well. Thank you for introducing emergency funds. We did it in our house. My mother is sleeping again. I read it twice and let the words soften every place in me that had been clenched like a fist since childhood. The correction post Mom made stayed up. It has fewer comments now, but sometimes I scroll to it on bad days and remember that she typed those sentences with hands that shook. We never talked about the shakes. We started watering plants together instead. The ficus near the altar is now ridiculous. Once, at a barangay event, a neighbor said loudly, "Leia, you're rich now." Sponsor naman Mom smiled and said, "Sweet as anything. She has boundaries." Then she passed the fundraising can herself, coins clattering, and I almost laughed because the sound was so pure it left no room for insult. At 5:29 p.m., my phone buzzes. A photo from Mom. Her holding a tray of peachy peachy, the sugar crystals like ice. "Come by," she writes. "No money talk. Promise." In the same breath, a message from Dad. "TV broken. Not emergency. We'll save." An upside-down smile emoji, his attempt at joking, his code for "I am learning." I send him a thumbs up. I don't send money. I don't need to. On my way out the door, I grab the accordion folder because Mom likes to see proof that things are organized. It is a harmless performance between us now, like a dance we finally enjoy because the music changed. On top of the folder, I place a Ziploc with new copies of the emergency fund rules. We haven't needed them lately, but rules, like umbrellas and rice, are good to have even when the sky is blue. The late afternoon claws at the edges of buildings, light turning corners, making everything brighter for a second before the soft. The sidewalk smells like chicken oil, and the kind of dust that only cities know. A jeepney rattles by, its route number a code I can recite like prayer. I pass the remittance center. A woman inside counts out bills and smiles with all her teeth. For a moment, I see 8-year-old me at the table, paper sleeves to the elbows. I want to tell her, you will touch only your money when you choose. You will still be generous. It will just not be an altar you burn yourself on. I want to tell her, you will buy a sofa with your own weight printed in the cushion. I want to tell her, you will be proud without spending yourself. Mom's door opens before I knock. The living room is still the same. Plastic covers on the remote. A rosary looped on a picture frame. Framed wedding photos that have outlived the colors the people in them wore. She kisses my cheek, and her powder dusts my face like a benediction. "We have pansed again," she says. "It was lucky last time." "It can be a tradition," I say. At the table, Dad is already eating, because respect for guests is non-existent when Pansit is present. We sit, we pass plates, we talk about the neighbor's dog, the new barangay captain's plans, Lola's refusal to wear her slippers inside the house. We do not talk about money. The emergency fund envelope peeks out from a drawer with a label that reads simply, "For when." It makes me love this house again. After dishes, Mom brings out a plastic bag filled with papers and taps it like a drum. "Tally," she says to me, smiling shyly. "Together?" It's the funeral of our old fight. We both attend. We both bring food. We both leave early and rest. On the Jeep ride home, the city leans into night. I text the nursing scholars, "How are you doing with your exams?" They reply with memes that translate to anxiety. I smile. I send them a PDF I wrote last week called "Cramming with Kindness." I make a mental note to buy more sticky notes. My phone vibrates with a Facebook notification I almost don't check because I promised myself I can live beyond that app. But I do. It's a post from Mom, a photo of her ficus under a wash of afternoon light. Thankful for growth that takes time and watering. There are 3 comments. One is from Tita Lynn, green thumb, which we both know is a lie, since my mother murders most succulents by looking at them too long. One is from a neighbor, Balisayo cutting, which Mom will politely ignore. And one is from a cousin who used to like fishing for guilt in group chats. It says, "Auntie, you do better now. Simple, without emojis." Sometimes growth surprises you by clapping quietly in the back row. At home, I set the accordion folder down and open my window. Night air moves through the room like a careful hand. I water my basil. I check the rice cooker. I take off my shoes and put them where they belong. On the mat that keeps bringing me back to the person who pays for the things she uses, who gives when it's a gift and not a demand, who posts her bills when that is the only language someone understands and then returns to speaking in hugs and loud laughter and recipes, because that is the language she prefers. I sit on my sofa and hold my own hand for a second like I'm checking my own pulse. It beats steady. Somewhere down the hall, a neighbor sings off-key and happy. I let it be brightness I don't have to fund. On my nightstand, next to the pen and the small notebook, there's a slip of paper I wrote and folded the night I first posted my bills. I unfold it now and read the sentence the way you read a psalm. Be proud of me without spending me. I say it out loud in the quiet. My walls absorb it. My bones do too. It sounds like a name I've had since birth and only learned to pronounce recently. The city hums. My phone sleeps. The rice cooker clicks back to keep warm. And me, here, ready to feed the version of my life that doesn't ask me to disappear to keep anyone else full.